Welcome or welcome back to Off the Reel.
Christopher Nolan's Inception.
Let's do it! Okay, so today we are doing Inception. This is my brother, our co-host for this episode. I'm going to go ahead and just give a quick rundown of what Inception is about for those that don't know.
Well, it's actually not that easy. I mean, it's a very complicated plot, actually.
Well, you don't got to get the whole plot.
Basically, it's about a man named Mr. Cobb who's able to go inside of people's dreams and extract things from their subconscious, and he uses this to his benefit because he's running from the law in the United States, and he's not able to go back there yet, so he's working with a bunch of high-powered CEOs and whatnot to gain entry back in the United States by going inside of people's dreams and extracting crucial information from them. And, man, how far do you want me to go into the...
Yeah, I think that about covers it.
Okay.
Going into dreams and getting information.
Yeah.
That's good enough. All right, so that said, let's go ahead and get into our 10 points. First point for creativity. What do you think on the creativity?
Overall, I think Christopher Nolan did pretty well as far as creativity, because there were some twists that I didn't see coming, and there's some twists that I did see coming. And I think this is one of those movies that actually does suck you in with the things that you can create with your own mind, even so.
Yeah.
Point for creativity, yeah.
Definitely, yeah, I gave it the point as well. The way it kind of, because it does toy with you a bit with the whole reality thing.
I don't think they went into that too much.
They didn't, but it does make you think, like, just the way the movie plays out, it does kind of make you ponder what's real.
I guess.
But the real creative bit just came with the concept of everything, just this going into dreams and manipulating things through...
Also, I think the creativity as far as how he filmed it.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
He filmed it really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, how creatively he was able to do these scenes.
Yeah.
Would be one of them. I mean,
he
definitely did it very well.
I mean... All right, let's go ahead and jump into number 2, the point for plot. I gave it the point for plot.
Okay.
Well, you seem to disagree with that.
I don't disagree with that. Definitely not. Yeah, I'd give it the point for plot, but it had the feel of a movie that was trying to put you on a twist. Right. Get you at the end, but I still kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's still a great plot. It's still a great overall story. I mean, definitely still the point, but I just wanted to say that,
Yeah. It does feel like it's driving you towards a plot, not driving you towards a twist, but the twist is obvious the entire time. Mm-hmm. What I love about the plot is that, like, most plots are driven by, like, some random happenstance that occurs, but this plot is driven by the rules of this world they're in. The plot is driven by these time constraints, like, first off, Saito, they have to complete their objective before he dies and gets stuck in limbo. And then the decades, weeks, all that, they're kind of, you could be stuck in here for, like, ever.
Or
so
couple seconds.
Or a couple of seconds. Yeah, so they're working against those time constraints. And then, of course, the defenses inside of the man's mind. They're also... It's all like a race against and towards time. It's very complex, but it all keeps the plot driving forward in an original way.
Yeah, he definitely... I think Christopher Nolan does that with a lot of his movies anyway, though. He goes kind of simple with the huge battle scene at the end, but it still works. And you got... The plot kind of ties in all of these things happening...
At the same time.
At the same time, but kind of at the end. All of the major stuff is happening right at the end.
Right.
and you know he's cutting back and forth between this guy opening the safe, and you're like, oh my god, the thing's in the safe, you know, and then they're down in limbo. He's got so much going on, and you're just, it's one of those movies where you just, at that point, you're stuck watching the screen. You can't pull your eyes away from it.
You can't go away.
Yeah, you're definitely just stuck watching it.
And it does a really great job of like weaving 3 or 4 or 5 interconnected plots all into one.
Yeah.
And it goes pretty seamlessly, I would say.
Well, I don't know if I made a note of it, but I thought, I don't know if this goes along with plot, but I want to talk about how easily it was to actually understand the science of it. Did you?
Yeah.
Did you
I almost would put that in dialogue because I did.
Dialogue?
Okay. I did understand because.
Okay.
Well, we'll get into that in a second. Moving on to the characters, and that is excluding acting. That's just the concept of who these characters are.
Right.
What'd you think?
I liked Cobb, obviously.
He's Leo.
I don't know if that's just Leo's. I don't think it is. I don't think it's Leo's
Cobb was
acting.
a very well crafted character.
He was, and I liked Maul as well too. She was actually a very scary character. At some point.
Like she's sinister, but she's also innocent in a way.
Yeah, and she's So I did like the characters. Arthur was. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I really like Arthur, but I don't know if it's just because of Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
He's very monotone for me. You know, like as an actor, he doesn't really. He's not like a Leo who can like get in your face and you're like, whoa, whoa, Leo, take it easy.
He's very suave though.
Yeah,
he's very he's like classy.
He had some class. It was a very good character. And then of course,
but you like Eames though.
Eames, Tom Hardy's character, man, he was wrecking shop.
At the end there, he was like, dude.
It came out of nowhere. Like he was doing all this philosophical stuff at the beginning, trying to get him to believe that this. And implant the idea, but then out of nowhere, he's like blowing up the tracked Humvee.
Yeah,
and
he was fighting off like a whole army of people.
Yeah.
While Saito's just sitting there, I can't feel my legs.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say
I gave it the point for characters as well. Did you give it the point for characters?
Where are we at so far? Have we even been talking about the points?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
How many points do we have?
We're 3 points in. It has 2 points out of 2.
Yeah, definitely for characters. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So same here. That's 3 points in, 3 points earned. Moving on to our 4th point, acting. I thought of course the acting is amazing in this movie.
The only one I didn't like was Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Really?
Maybe it was just the way he was supposed to portray that character, but he was so... I guess during his fight scenes and the spinning hallway,
most of his character comes in the fight scenes and all that.
That was cool. I would say that. All right, you're right.
I don't know. I like this character. His character felt really natural to me, and I do give that to his portrayal.
But yeah. Leo, though, man.
Leo's amazing.
How is that man not...
How did he not get an Oscar for this?
Yeah, he's such a not renowned actor. He doesn't have that many awards, but he's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good. Like, whenever he's yelling I was like, whoa.
He's so good at being angry.
Yeah. That, and then whenever you get really sucked into the scene where it's just him and Maul.
Yeah.
It's just Mr. Cobb, Leo, and Marianne Maul. And they're just talking, and like she's about to jump, and you're like, you get sucked in. You forget that it's a movie.
You really feel that.
Yeah. He's very good. He's a very good actor, so yeah, of course, point for acting.
Lots of emotion in that.
Yeah.
So that's 4 points. Moving on to point 5, dialogue. And we already kind of mentioned something about this. I gave it the point for dialogue because of what you said, actually.
How easy it was to understand these pretty complex...
Like, very, very complex. Like
dream within a dream within a dream, and you're, like, able to understand what's going on.
Like you get all the rules, and it's all conveyed pretty naturally. Like, you don't feel like it's exposition, like them telling you, like, oh, this will happen here, and this, and this, and this, and this.
But then again, it's not... necessarily dumbed down either.
Yeah.
It's definitely not...
He
they didn't put it in layman's terms.
He found a sweet spot for, like, making it sound authentically, like, just...
They're just talking about it.
Yeah, but also anyone could understand it. Although some people don't, but I don't understand that. I mean,
You just watched it for the first time and you understand.
Yeah, it's like, I understood most of it before I went into it.
Right.
I don't get how people... I mean, I guess if you're watching just kind of haphazardly, you might...
Right. If you don't pay attention, definitely you wouldn't get what's going on.
Yeah, you'll miss something here and there.
Yeah, because then people are just waking up on planes and you're like, like, you're just like, what the hell?
Alan.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, point for dialogue?
Yeah.
Is there more to dialogue you want to talk about?
No. Thought, very easy to understand, yeah. It's all good.
5 points in, 5 points earned. Moving on to point 6, visuals. I gave it the point for visuals. I
have some problems, but I don't know what point to take them away from.
We'll get into that.
Okay, all right. That's all I'm saying.
Would you like me to provide a description of the points?
Nah, it's good.
All right.
All right.
What do you think on the visuals in the movie? That can be anything from like
visuals are amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the use of CGI without actually knowing and like blatantly seeing CGI is so amazing. Like the folding over of the street on top of each
iconic scene.
Yeah, that and the exploding boxes and the whole exploding street scene.
Oh, that was
like you couldn't really tell that wasn't real.
Yeah,
like it's very well done and it was very creative, I think.
Like even if the rest of the movie had been terrible, that first scene with Ellen Page and Leo and like the whole street's exploding,
yeah,
I would have given it the point for visuals based on that alone. Like that was awesome.
That too, and then they ended somewhere outside of the city too. So they have this mountain range, right?
Right. With
a cool kind of... It kind of gave it like a James Bond film to feel to me, because like you have this basically just one room guarded by all these men and in this like bunker. You know what I mean?
Right.
So not only did you film in like these cities areas, but for the last scene you went away, you went into this snowy mountain, you had like avalanche.
That was one thing I'll kick back to plot that I kind of forgot to mention is like the way that you're able to go to so many different locations in this movie and it still technically be in the same,
right? Like
they haven't gone anywhere, but like they've gone to all these different crazy, starkly different locations and
right,
it's cool. But back to visuals, and then the fight scenes, especially with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the rotating room.
Yeah, I think all the fight scenes, even with Leonardo DiCaprio, when he's being chased by those men, they weren't like over the top.
Right.
Like, and you can definitely tell what's going on. And, yeah, I mean, you have that one part where these men are getting shot once and kind of dropping dead.
They're going for headshots.
I mean, yeah,
boom, headshot.
Yeah, they were like,
I don't know, I kind of liked that.
Spine surgeons on these like bullets.
That's when the dude's like running, he's like, "Oh, get him, guy," and then just
ooh, got me in the spine.
Like just every shot, just
they're good.
Dead drop.
They're definitely good.
I like that. I don't know if you didn't, but I liked when that happened. It was just amusing.
Yeah, I could understand that. Yeah. And the train coming through the street out of nowhere was awesome.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet addition.
Start driving and whammo. Took me by surprise. That was one thing that surprised me in this movie, was random train out of nowhere.
They didn't really come back to that. I mean, you probably understand that it's Leo's character, Mr. Cobb, but still they were just like, they kind of just threw that in there.
They just train.
Yeah. They're like, train going through downtown.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, definitely point for visuals. No contest on this movie.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say on that before we move
on? Definitely the filming of the rotating.
Yeah, very very impressive.
That's just cool to watch and think about how they did it. That and then the zero gravity.
Yeah, the floating.
Yeah, the floating thing. That was
that
in
must
the
have
hallways.
Been,
yeah, very cool.
I would have been really pissed off if I were Arthur in that situation.
I mean, that's just like innovation as far as filming goes.
Yeah,
like everybody would have been on set like watching. That would have been like really cool to watch. Like these two dudes fighting and the guns are falling and they're just like hopping onto the walls and on the ceiling.
This gun just
it was very
it was awesome.
Very cool.
Move on to soundtrack, 0.7, full 6 points so far. What do you think on the soundtrack?
Honestly, the soundtrack is very Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
You could definitely tell that it's exactly
100%.
The Dark Knight. It's exactly it's like it's like which keeps you very engaged. You're like so engaged because it's like it's this soundtrack that keeps building up.
That's one thing Christopher Nolan I think does pretty well in a lot of his films is the soundtrack. His original soundtrack. Like he's not just piecing together a soundtrack like he's
right. Yeah, I would give it to him, but I'm just saying like change it up a little bit, Christopher. Like he does.
One thing we're looking for in the points is for it to like specifically stand out above average.
I wouldn't say the soundtrack stood out to me because it kept you engaged, but you could definitely after a while I could definitely tell that he was repeating. Like the soundtrack was definitely the same throughout the whole thing.
What I would say is that the engagement of the soundtrack, I would throw that more into tone. Like soundtrack, we're aiming for more to like, is the soundtrack itself something to be admired? Absent from
Christopher Nolan soundtracks, they're very they like I said, they keep you engaged. You know,
right?
That's part of like why you can't take your eyes off the screen. And again, the absence of soundtrack for iconic scenes, he pulls most sound away. You know, so like when they're just talking, it's just them talking. You just get the acting, and then as soon as like Maul jumps, he throws in the like the huge
right.
So yeah, definitely soundtrack works. It like throws you into the movie. Definitely.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I'd give it the point for soundtrack. Christopher Nolan is like the master of music. He's good. He might use like the same stuff in every movie, but it's good.
That's John Williams, man.
Well, that's a whole different kind of music right there.
John Williams is the master of soundtracks. He's done
that's like
countless. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So full point for soundtrack. Let's move on to the tone of the movie. That's like visuals, soundtrack, dialogue, what's actually happening, all coming together to keep you feeling what you're supposed to be feeling.
I think the tone changes about whenever they get on the plane. What's that guy's name?
Which one?
The main guy. The main guy they're trying to...
Cillian Murphy.
His actual character name?
Yeah.
Well, the main guy they're trying to extract...
Work on that.
They're trying to perform Inception on.
Yes.
Once they get him on the plane and everything starts going in motion, the tone definitely shifts.
Yeah.
It shifts into like a higher gear, and it shifts into more like you don't know what's going on, and there's like this whole universe where anything's possible.
Right.
But before that, it was kind of like a thief. It was definitely like I said before, like kind of like an espionage, like James Bond kind of feel.
Yeah.
Because these people, they were like flying across countries. They were trying to get this whole team assembled, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think the tone changes throughout the movie, and I think I liked the tone. So, I mean, that's what we're going off of. Yeah, definitely. point for impact or tone as well.
I'm struggling on tone because I don't know.
You're not sure on tone?
I am struggling on tone.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Because I just don't know if, like, because I did notice at some points the music, it's good music, but I didn't know that the music was specifically driving me towards anything. Like, it kept me engaged, but I'm not sure I felt emotions I was supposed to be feeling in each scene from it. Like, there would be an emotional scene in the background, you'd just hear like a...
Okay.
I don't know. It was a small thing. Like, you kind of have to, like, listen and... But, overall, the film is very, very good tonally. Like, there's no unnecessary breaks of, like, comedy in the middle of something crazy. Like, they do... It does work very well. So I am going to give it the point for tone.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I think it's a very well-rounded movie, but the concept of it, I think, does well in one movie.
Yeah.
If they made another one, I think it would kind of ruin it.
They made another Inception.
Yeah. Like, he did it so well, and he kept it all where he explained everything, but then it's probably John.
Yeah.
He explained everything, but then he kept you kind of in the dark on, like, you know, he ends it with him.
Top.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, full point for tone. 8 points in, 8 points earned. Let's move on to point number 9, the impact of the movie, how it was received, what effect it had on filmmaking and people in general.
I don't know that it had an impact. I mean, man, this
movie is like such a well-known movie, man.
This movie was 2010.
2010.
2010, and so as far as, like, what impact it had back then,
I mean,
I was trying to think on all the movies that I've watched since then, and if any movie has really been impacted by the way they filmed it, because they definitely took some outreach on this one.
The Spinning Room has taken...
Spinning Room, and I'm pretty sure they did film it with the freefall jet.
They might have. I don't know.
Think?
There's research to be done there, definitely, but I think they did use the free fall.
All right, well, if I was going to deduct a point, it would be on impact. I mean, like, it's such a good movie, but somehow, maybe in, like, the delivery of how they did their marketing, I don't know. It didn't seem like it did that well. As far as I can remember, everybody was like, Inception, a dream within a dream. Nobody was like, this movie was amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
I think today it's regarded as, like, a great movie that no one understands. It's like Lost in movies.
Right.
It's like
somewhere it got lost in the plot.
People say it's really good, but, like, people don't quite get what's happening.
Yeah, I would agree with that, yeah. So, I'm saying no for impact.
All right.
Negatory.
Get that. I think just as far as how this movie...
And then again, I mean, I don't think anybody won awards for this either. Nobody won awards for this movie.
Right. Yeah.
So, impact on the scene, I would say no, because nobody won awards. Nobody was like, this movie's now a classic. Like, when you think of Inception, it's definitely not a classic.
It's not a classic, but I do think it is kind of an iconic movie, I would say. Like, it's one of those.
All right.
I think just as far as how well known and parodied and, like, kind of looked at, because I see parts of Inception everywhere.
Yeah,
I see stuff.
It was in that TV. Remember that TV show we used to watch? What was that? Burger? Something Burger.
Burger. No, not Bob's Burgers.
We're getting Bob's Burgers from the back. They're telling me Bob's Burgers.
Burger. Welcome to the Good Burger.
Anyway, I saw them do. Yeah, you're right. They do.
Especially the folding scene.
It's not very quotable. I wouldn't say that.
Oh yeah, it's not a quotable movie.
Dream Within a Dream is quotable.
Yeah,
that's quotable. But Other than that, I wouldn't say anything else would be.
I think it didn't get me any awards, I don't think. And it's kind of confusing to some people. But I think as far as people accepting it as a good movie, and it's...
Very good security around here.
And just how kind of renowned it is and how iconic it is, I think I'm going to give it the point for impact. So that'll round out to half a point. It's not a 10 out of 10. Last point, opinion point. This is just whether or not we like the movie.
Gotcha. Well, I definitely like the movie.
Yeah. I'm glad to have finally watched it.
It's a great movie. I've seen it. I saw it when it first came out in theaters. I've seen it many times since. I love Leonardo DiCaprio as an actor. And as a lead role, he's very good. And it's a very good story. So, overall, yeah, it's a very good movie. Definitely a point for opinion, too.
Yeah, so same. Leonardo DiCaprio, he's like one of my favorite
right, and Tom
actors.
Hardy, too.
Tom Hardy, you love Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, too. And he was such like he was a lower role, but like he's like, if you look on the IMDb, the thing, he's like the next one next to Leo. Like he was such a good role in this movie. Yeah. Yeah,
he brings it in this movie definitely. So, I mean, it was a pretty great cast. Cillian Murphy, I really like him. He did Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Dark Knight. Yeah, I like a lot of the stuff he's in.
He was I like.
And it's like, one thing I do like about this movie is most movies I believe have to have a really good villain. When you think about this movie, like, who really is the villain? Yeah, Maul, but like she also kind of plays a background role. Like, she's kind of like more of a mental villain. Like she's really present.
She's definitely not the main villain, but she's the embodiment of the villain in this movie.
Yeah,
and if you're talking about villains for that, I mean, very few villains can actually scare you when you're just watching a movie. But her walking with a knife...
She is a creepy lady.
She's very creepy. Her and, like, Tom Hardy as Bane, like, they're very iconic villains. And, like, you're like, oh, my God, this guy could kill me. Or this woman would kill me in, like, real life.
Walks up to Cobb, just, you feel in control. But yeah, no. So I'm gonna give it just the fact that they got away with not having an ever-present villain impresses me. Because most films, I'm like, there needs to be a good villain here.
Right. Nobody necessarily was the villain. You're right.
You're like, you figure Cillian Murphy's gonna be the main villain, but then like he's part of the team.
Yeah, and he's in there for a very short amount of time, but you feel.
Yep.
Connected to that character immediately because of the role of his father. Yeah.
So just based on the cast and everything that happened, the visuals, that scene with all the exploding boxes, that was awesome.
Mm.
Full point for opinion. That rounds us out to 9.5 points. We each have a point we can take off or give to the movie. If we think it deserves
a whole point.
Half a point.
Half a point. Okay. Inception is a great movie, but do I think it needs to be at a 9.5? No.
So you think it sits at a 9?
I don't know. Maybe that's just... I don't know. Maybe that's my personal opinion. But, for some reason, 9.5 for Inception doesn't sound right to me. So I would say no. I'm going to take away half a point.
Okay.
Not taking anything away from the movie, just where I think it should sit. I would say comparing this to other classics and iconic movies, it definitely would not match up, and it would go down.
Despite everything that was great about the movie, something did not connect right with audiences. I don't personally know what that was, but
you didn't watch it until now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it was honestly just marketing.
Well, there's a lot of movies. I haven't watched Pulp Fiction yet.
That's a very old movie.
Well, still,
yeah. Right, I get what you're saying.
There are movies I have not watched, but I know a lot about, and I accept their goodness.
I honestly don't think that they marketed it right. Whatever. A lot of movies fall to that. Like Princess Bride fell to that. Like maybe over time it'll eventually go to a classic, but right now it's still in the stage.
I do think you're right. I do think it would something failed somewhere along the line that made it not deserve a full 10 out of 10. I'm not going to take a point away. I'm not going to give it back the point. So we'll leave it at a 9.
Alrighty.
All right. So that'll be that. Our official off the reel rating for Inception is a 9.0. Down in the comments, tell us what movies you want us to review in the future. Next up, we'll be doing our discussion, so be sure to go to that at the end of the video.